This is my favorite Magic the Gathering moment ever. It's incredibly creative, well executed, and it earned our pilot his seat in the Kaldheim Championship Finals. Let's get into it. Today, we're following Arne Huschenbeth's deep run in the Kaldheim Championships, and spoiler alert, he eventually wins the whole thing. He brought Dimir Rogues, and the game plan is clear. Fill the opponent's graveyard early with Thieves' Guild Enforcer and Soaring Thought Thief. Hold off their spells and creatures with the fantastic Drown Loch, and then, when the coast is clear, resolve into the story to draw a back-breaking 4 cards at instant speed. Oh, and did I mention Lurrus of the Dream Den was still legal at the time? Well, it was, and it lets Arne replay his creatures from his graveyard over and over again. His opponent's no slouch. It's 2018 world champion Javier Dominguez piloting Temur Adventures. This deck leverages Edgewall Innkeeper as a card engine combined with the best adventure cards in Standard at the time, Brazen Borrower, Bonecrusher Giant, and Lovestruck Beast. Eventually, it can resolve the Great Henge and never run out of gas. And for us, it's important to know that Javier is packing 3 Ox of Agonis as Kryptonite for the Rogues deck. It has Escape, meaning if Arne mills it, it could be cast from the graveyard and uncounterably remove 8 other cards from the bin, turning off the mill synergies. We're picking up in the middle of Game 2, and I want you to feel the pressure here. Because of the pandemic, Arne is playing this game at home in Berlin well past midnight. He's 1 game win away from the Grand Finals, and his opponent is a recent world champion. It's been a rough game so far for Javier, but you wouldn't know it from his face. His draws weren't the best, but he's got Arne at 3. We've freshly resolved into the story and have 9 cards in hand, and it's time to turn the corner. He eliminates the Brazen Borrower, and then, well, almost everyone in this spot plays Rune Crab into Fabled Passage. Instead, he plays the Rune Crab after his land drop, deliberately not milling Javier, and this is an excellent play, because he knows that this game will come down to whether Javier can resolve an Ox of Agonis or not in the next few turns, and milling risks giving Javier that Ox before we fully stabilize the board. Javier draws a blank and Innkeeper and passes the turn. Now it's safe to mill. If we turn over an Ox, we have Cling to Dust to exile it before Javier gets priority to cast it. So he plays the land, mills 3, and passes. Well, kind of. He resolves into the story in Javier's upkeep to avoid having to discard to hand size, which is a small detail, but small details matter. Javier bricks off a land, Arne plays another crab, mills 6, swings, and says go. At this point, Javier needs the Ox to be the top card of his library, and it is. If it touches the board, he gets to draw 3, and no matter how many times Arne counters it, it's going to keep coming back for 2 red. There's an Innkeeper in play, things could snowball out of control. And now, here we are at the moment that sticks with me years later. Ox of Agonis is on the stack. Take a moment, pause the video. You're Arne. What's the best play? How can you solve your Ox problem for good? Okay, if you got this, you should be pretty proud of yourself. This one takes serious lateral thinking. The problem is if you countered the Ox, Javier gets priority back and can recast it before you can exile it with Cling to Dust. To get around this, Arne targets Edgewall Innkeeper with Drown the Loch, and then, holding priority, counters the Ox with the other Drown. This puts the Ox in the graveyard, but the stack isn't empty, so Javier doesn't get priority to cast it. This gives Arne the window to hit the Ox with the Cling to Dust, he goes up to 6, and goes on to win this game pretty easily. I love the creativity of this line, and the careful play even when the advantage seemed too big to throw away. Let me know in the comments, did you figure it out? And as always, if you like this comment, tell me. Like the video, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, and leave comments and feedback. It gives me good algorithm juice and, incidentally, good brain juices at the same time. Anyway, that's it for this video. I'll see you all next time.